Hi, my name is Greg McConnie, and I'm the recently appointed President of the Barbados International Business Association. Dear members, firstly let me apologise for my absence at the annual general meeting on June 16th due to conflicting business travel requirements. Upon recognising the conflict, I explored various permutations of flight and meeting schedules that would have allowed me to attend, unfortunately, without success. As I was unable to do so at the time of the AGM, let me start by recognising the invaluable contribution the immediate past President Andrew Allen has made to the Barbados International Business Association, or BIBA for short, and to the international business sector generally. For many years now, Andrew has been a fervent advocate of our members' concerns and has worked with dedication to promote the benefits of the IB sector and facilitate the resolution of issues that our members encounter. I also recognise the work done by the BIBA board, the executive and the committees. It is through the voluntary efforts of these individuals that significant work is done in fulfilling BIBA's strategic plan for growth in the IB sector. There is no doubt in my mind that the IB sector in Barbados can expand and grow exponentially under the right conditions. Many of the externally imposed issues that at first glance appear to be major challenges to the sector present significant opportunities if approached appropriately. The ongoing OECD Base Erosion and Profit Shifting, or BEPS for short, initiative, and the Panama Papers are two such examples. Barbados has always been a jurisdiction that targeted businesses based on substance and stands at a competitive advantage when compared to other international financial centres, or IFCs, to meet the substance requirements being outlined in the BEPS framework. Given our highly qualified local labour pool and long history of facilitating global business strategies compared to competing IFC jurisdictions. In addition, Barbados has never been a jurisdiction that sought to attract business based on secrecy, having for many years been a party to bilateral tax and investment treaties that include exchange of information provisions and have maintained publicly available registers of directors. Many of the other zero tax IFC jurisdictions are now implementing such systems. Notwithstanding those competitive advantages, Barbados needs to step up its game if it is to really take advantage of the opportunities available in the IB sector. By far the most pressing issue to be addressed is business facilitation, and to that end, BIBA welcomes the recent appointment of Senator the Honourable Darcy Boyce to provide dedicated effort towards reducing, if not eliminating, the difficulties currently being experienced in doing business in this country. All users of services provided by both the private and public sectors require consistency and certainty of process in order to be able to effectively manage their affairs, and this is particularly important for the international investor, where Barbados is competing against other jurisdictions for their business. Barbados must demonstrate that it can meet the high standards of service expected by international business investors and practitioners, and that it can do so consistently if it is to be perceived as a high-quality jurisdiction. Agility is the other aspect of business facilitation that, along with certainty of process, is vital to being able to compete effectively for international business. As a jurisdiction, we need to demonstrate agility in adapting to changes in the environment to capitalize on opportunities. This includes initiating and implementing legislative changes and effecting the relevant business process changes when new legislation is passed in relatively short timeframes. Our timeframes for execution must be measured in days and weeks rather than months and years. With that background, and recognizing that my predecessors have worked tirelessly on addressing many of the issues facing the IB sector, over the next year, I plan to carry on the fight with a particular focus on the following. First, In support of Minister Boyce's business facilitation role, I intend to work collaboratively with the key government departments to ensure that everyone understands the potential that the IB sector holds for Barbados's growth, and with that background, seek to understand the challenges they face when interacting with the private sector and share with them the challenges the private sector encounters, with the intention of working together to develop solutions to the issues identified. Second, continue to support government in its efforts in promoting Barbados's attributes to international bodies to avoid being grouped with IFCs generally as high-risk tax havens. Third, continue to work with government and the central bank to overcome the challenges arising from the de-risking initiatives of international banks. The loss of access to the services of international banks, either directly or through the correspondent relationship of local banks, would be debilitating for the economy as a whole and would cripple the potential for growth and threaten the very survival of the IB sector. Fourth, work with the government to revisit the definition of a financial institution for the purposes of application of AML-CFT guidelines. The definition of financial institution within the AML Act should be made consistent with the FATCA type definition, where it is based upon the activities conducted as opposed to the form of legislation under which an entity is registered. Without a change in this area, many entities will be unable to comply with the AML-CFT requirements and may be forced to leave the jurisdiction in favor of other jurisdictions that recognize the reduced AML-CFT risk levels for entities that are not truly financial institutions and that define financial institutions appropriately. Fifth, carry on working with the government on the development and implementation of the suite of legislation serving the IB sector, including pursuing the passage of limited liability partnership legislation currently in draft form, implementing the incorporated cell company legislation recently passed, and reviewing and modernizing the limited partnership legislation to make it a viable option as a form of entity for investors. Sixth, continue to educate Barbadians on the importance of international business to our economy throughout the year and through the annual International Business Week of activities. Finally, but most important, I plan to seek the valuable feedback from you, the members. In order for me to continue to successfully represent your interests over the next year, I will be in contact with the various member companies so we can meet and discuss new and/or existing issues within our sector. With the support of the board, the executive, the committees, and the secretariat, I look forward to serving you in the year ahead.